Hey, good morning and good evening, everyone. Myself, Devinder, the trainer for the UI5. So, today we are going to have a demonstration on UI5 FIORI OData and Gateway. And welcome to SMAX Technologies. Yeah, first of all, just I would like to convey how you can interact with me. This is the questions pane of GoToWebinar. You can type anything on these questions pane, which will be visible to me only, to organizer only. It will not be visible to everyone. So if you have any questions, or if you want to respond to my queries, questions, and so on, you can interact via these questions pane. Obviously, there will be few questions which we will not be able to put it on a questions pane. We would like to have audio. So by default, everybody are muted. So if you say even good morning, I will not be able to hear you all because except me, everybody are muted. So to unmute it, I have a control where I can unmute you. So for that, please raise your hands. So hands up, this I call it as hands up icon. So you can click on a hands up icon so that I get an intimation. Then I can unmute you, I can take up your question, and then I can mute you again. So that's how, I mean, since it is a 1 to n session, means the session will be conducted to n number of people at a time. So this is one of the best features that we have with the GoToWebinar. Now, yeah, this is the email ID that you can contact us. Contact us at @smaxtraining.com, and this is the number 9100084688, where you can WhatsApp to the one, or you can message, or you can call to this number for further inquiries or the information. So let me start with myself. So my name is Devinder Nayak. I have now more than 15 years of experience into the IT. I worked for IBM, Fujitsu, and Capgemini. The technologies which I worked on is the UI5, CRM Web UI, CRM Internet Sales Application, Enterprise Portal, WebDyn for ABAP, WebDyn for Java, BSP, Java J2E. So I started my career from the Java J2E, then got an opportunity to work in SAP. Online, yeah. Now tomorrow I'm going to close up the 35th batch of the UI5. So I have written 35 batches online, and 9 corporate trainings I have delivered, and 14 batches online. So coming to the online, it is near to the 49, and corporate trainings 9. So yeah, have more than four years of experience into the UI5. So around 5 years of experience in online training. Huge. So yeah, these are the UI5 projects which I have developed as a freelancer. This is for of my own purpose. These two are of my own. SMaxTraining.com, which is the website I have developed using UI5, SAP UI5. It's open UI5 ideally. Bookmycrick.com, and yeah, this is at testing stage, privacy.org.test.ur. So these are the achievements which I personally have, and aim of the course is for better career prospect. So aiming at, you may switch the company, or you may have a project on a UI5. So keeping that in mind, the training is portrayed. So who can take up the training? It's an ABAPer. This training is corely for an ABAPer. So I would like to hear from you all. I hope everybody are ABAPer. If you are not in ABAPer, just let me know. We have a separate package for others. Anil, Raghavendra, Sriram. Yeah. Raghavendra, I'm just unmuting you. Yeah, Raghavendra.
Yeah, hi, I'm Raghav.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm basically from Web Java SAP portal,
Okay. Good.
and I also learned WebDim app. I done a couple of projects on WebDim app, but I'm not a core ABAPer actually. I
Yeah.
know object-oriented ABAP, and I done couple of projects in WebDim app actually.
Okay. Okay.
So, will it suitable for me or how it is?
See, dear, coming to our course, we are not digging into the details of ABAP. So, coming to the course curriculum, it is fine because I cannot test your ABAP skills, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But when it is in a real time, I don't know how test cases that you will be getting. If they are simple, I mean, for me,
But I
ABAP,
believe.
yes,
But what I am expecting is
we will
in
have
this
an
course,
ABAPer. We will have an
in
ABAPer
this
separately.
in this course, what I'm expecting is I will get a FIORI configuration and
UI5.
UI5, I mean JavaScript skills,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and I know object-oriented app, so
You
at
should
your
be.
gateway,
Yeah, you should
yeah,
be. You should be. But still, I cannot see within the course you will get everything. I mean, whatever we are walking through the course, you will not have any problem in understanding back end. Of course, the front end is obviously whatever is non-ABAP content, you are going to grab it because I will be taking care of it. But when it is a back end, I will be rushing a bit faster. I will not be explaining
okay,
each and every line of code of ABAP.
okay, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I hope that is understandable. I mean that is what. Uh,
Yeah, I can understand the code of ABAP and all, but I never done direct ABAP coding. But
yeah,
that is fine. I mean, anyhow, I am only the front end developer,
yeah.
so
Okay.
I want to be a yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay then. Yeah, yeah. That should suffice. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, Anil says, he is new to OData and UI5. No problem. That is where I am starting, my dear. I mean, you never done HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That is where I am. I would be starting my session. So that will be the primary questions from you all. That's the reason I have built it these slides for the same. So now coming to the skill sets, I'm dividing it as a three parts: front end development, back end development, and FIORI configuration. Now, when it comes to the front end development, we call it as developing the web user interface or the front end development. For that, now we need to learn HTML5, CSS, JavaScript, jQueries we are absoluting. I will give you the reason, why we are absoluting the jQuery. Means we will not discuss on the jQuery part. Then what is JSON and XML? And finally, we need to understand SAP UI5 framework and the OData entity data model. So in an organization, there could be a core front end developer, just like Raghavendra. Even Raghavendra is a bit far because he knows object oriented ABAP and the basic ABAP. It is also been expected within the organization that the front end developer, he doesn't know SAP. He never does he doesn't understand even the SAP. Even for that case, these are the skills which are required. But for our case, we are focusing on ABAP. And for the development, we will be using Eclipse as well as WebID. Both are there. But if you ask me a question, which one is preferable, SAP Web ID is preferable, and why, we will be discussing thoroughly in our regular session. So, but there are some peculiar cases where people has to go with the Eclipse. But now I feel there is no reason to go with the Eclipse unless until it is a training. Except that I would prefer everybody can go with the Web ID. Now going back-end development. So back-end development, we need to know basic ABAP. Yeah, especially for the Raghavendra, so I can say that whether if you are able to build a function module or build a BAPI, that should suffice. And of course, there are, as Anil said, he knows conventional ABAP. So you can learn the ABAPs via e-learning. So we will not be going with the OOPS concept in the live session, but they are available as part of the recorded sessions. You can go through and you can, if you have any queries, you can ask me offline. And being a backend developer, you need to know the OData, entity data model. And we will be working on a tool called SAP Gateway Builder. So front-end development and back-end development, finally FIORI. FIORI, I would say it's a combination of functional, basis, and technical consultant. So even we will be discussing what are all the basic settings that basis will perform, because now, yeah, basis are also okay. Recently, I had been discussing with one of the basis. He is aware of the most of the things. And SAP has made it much easier, but still, I would say 70 percentage of the basis got a knowledge on the UI5 theory, 30 percentage not. So that's how they are with. Okay. Now, topics covered for today's session. We will quickly walk through journey of SAP's user interface. Then we will discuss what is SAP FIORI and what is UI5 and what is OData and gateway. So these are the things that we will be discussing for today's session. So I hope everybody are aware as of now. The journey starts with SAP UI5 in 1970s, and by 1990s they started with internet transaction services to enable the UI on the browser. So on the browser, to work with SC11, SC37, these kind of transaction, they have started with ITS. But still, we don't have the customizable views for that. So they came up with the BSPs and WebDyn Pro. Whereas BSP has high flexibility on the UI. Whereas WebDyn Pro, with the help of WebDyn Pro, we can develop an application rapidly. But most of the projects is owned by the WebDyn Pro. But one of the drawback of WebDyn Pro is they have rigid UI. So table looks like the WebDyn Pro table. You cannot customize the table. So what SAP has felt is, why don't we take the positive UI flexibility from the BSP and rapid model-driven programming from the WebDyn Pro. So they have combined these two technologies and came up with SAP Web UI, which is popular as SAP CRM Web UI, which is BSP WebDyn Pro application. That has cracked 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, even 12 as well. The SAP CRM technical or CRM Web UI was very popular in the SAP world. But later, mobile technology came into the picture, and SAP has adapted that technology with the SAP FIORI. Yeah. Now, my first question will be like, what you understand by the FIORI? So now FIORI is not a new baby. It is more than 4 years of experience. Means it is 4 years kid, a schooling baby. So, from your perspective, Anil, Raghavendra, Sriram, what is SAP FIORI? Yeah. Raghavendra would like to answer via audio. Yeah, Raghavendra.
Yeah, SAP FIORI is basically an interface for apps kind of thing, and it is a place where we can integrate our UI5 applications as well as WebDim Pro applications. Also, we can bring it as an app.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
Different dimensions. It's a user
yeah,
interface, and it is also a center point for all the applications to access, like a portal.
yeah, like portal, and we can access through desktop, tablet, or mobile.
That is its feature. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Anil replied, set of apps for UI. Yeah, yeah. I would be sharing my experience because when I had worked on one project and completed the project, but still I don't know what is theory all about. It doesn't matter. Seriously, it doesn't matter to know the SAP theory, what it meant for, but being a trainer, you need to know it. So to start with, is it a technology? These are the questions which I put for myself. I mean, let me not get into what SAP theory is. At least let me get in a reverse engineering, like, is it a technology? Is it a platform? So the answers were no. And some of my colleagues said it's a user interface, just like Raghavendra said, it's a user interface. Then, yeah, that is what SAP said. They said it's a user interface, but still I was not happy. I was doing a research. I used to ask questions to the people. Um, the contacts which I have, I asked them, and finally got it. And let me share that the same with you. So by 2007, SAP felt, hey, let us have a very good UI because the smartphone has came into the world. So they thought of giving a better UI. So what they have done, they have taken a paper or a MS Paint or some visual diagram tools or wireframe tools. And they started designing it, taking a use case, not blindly. Maybe sales order screen, purchase order, leave approval, so on. They started designing. They started discussing on it and blah 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 blah. And again, once they felt it is fine, they went to the customer, listened to the customer feedback, and just incorporated those changes on the paper. Let us take on the paper. What they have exactly done, it is not that required and we are not aware of. But finally, they have designed it. So they call these the new design as a SAP theory. But how many applications they have to design? They have to design some lakhs of applications because lakhs of transactions are there. And when I say lakhs of transaction means with reference to the different modules as well. Lakhs of screens are there. If we go to only ECC, we can expect lakhs of screens are there. So when there are n number of screens are there and n number of people are developing it, they have to develop it for one purpose. For that, they need to have a design principles. Otherwise, it will be a mess. What is that design principle? Rule based means when you are designing an application, let me repeat it. When you are designing, for example, I have given you a use case. Hey, can you develop a application for my online training? for my online training. So first, what you need to do? First, you need to design it. When you are designing, you have to design it for the end user, for the trainer, a different user interface, for an administrator, a different user interface. So you need to develop an applications which are very specific to those roles. Just like salesmen should have the salesman application, and manager should have manager application. So this is one of the design principle. The second one, responsive. As Raghavendra said, the apps adjust their layout based on the available screens. So, it has to be adapted. And this is what is required, my dear. Yeah. So, not only you have to design only one page, but you need to accommodate that one page as a 3 pages, 3 screens. I hope everybody are following. Sriram, Raghavendra, Anil, isn't it? So you need to adapt it. 1, 2, 3, so on. Right. That is the second principle. Now coming to the third principle, it should be simple. Yeah. Recently, I had one corporate training where they said that GUI doesn't look good for their performance appraisal was KPI was the use case. Just they had taken a training where they can develop a UI5 application for the performance appraisals. So I mean, as of now, the end user is using enterprise portal. They want to make it, much simple, much beautiful. So I would say, when you are designing it, so now when they are designing that kind of application, they know, the business process, everything is they are aware of. Now they have to design it. So now they have to start with designing it as simple as where the people understands it easier, because not only developing a new UI is a challenge, but to give a training to the end user, again, that will be a biggest challenge. So try to make it simple and coherent. Now see, let me give you the definition. No matter how many FIORI applications are, they should have same design footprint and same look and feel. So we should have same design footprint and same look and feel. You can see these 3 applications. They look like the same. It is opportunity search, it is my contact search, it is approved purchase order search. All of them looks like the same. So that the end user can easily, once he has seen how to work on the opportunities, he can go with the my contacts, he can do most of the search criteria pages. That is what we call it as coherent. Yeah. Finally, it's a delightful, should look beautiful, and he should say, oh, this is awesome application, the look and feel looks like amazing. The time required to train users with the new UI should be minimal. And overall, what SAP says, keep simple things simple. And one of the advantage you will be getting with this training is, I keep things much simpler. I don't want to make things complicated within the training, except the assignments. Assignments are complicated. So role-based, responsive, simple, coherent, and delightful. This is what the FIORI. So, don't get confused with Raghavendra, what he said, because this is one of the dimension of the FIORI. This is not the complete FIORI. It's one of the part, one of the way, how it looks like. So we will get into the details of the FIORI when we go to the regular sessions. But as of now, the SAP FIORI is just all about designing an application or group of applications. Any questions for me? Any questions from anybody? Anil, Raghavendra, Sriram? No? Wonderful. Yeah. Chalo, now for a new babies who never heard about the UI5 or FIORI for the first time they are into, then you might be having a question. Okay, we talked about the FIORI. Okay, it is all about the design on the paper, on the PPT or wherever, but where UI5 fits into. Now to develop that page, to develop those screens, we use UI5. UI5 is underneath the technology used to develop FIORI applications. One more term for ABAP, like ABAP program under transaction, like ME21N. ME21N is, we call it as a module pool program. Is it a module pool program or ABAP program? It's a module pool program, but developed using ABAP program. In the same way, SAP FIORI is the one which is of user interface or the designs, everything, but to develop that, we use SAP UI. Now we will discuss what is SAP UI5 technology, why they have went with the UI5 technology. Already they had BSP and WebDin Pro. Why they want to go with the newest one, and where these can be used extensively. What is the most preferred area where we can use the UI5? So we are starting with what is SAP UI5, means the content of UI5. It's technically what it is. It is HTML5, a bunch of JavaScript library. Bunch of JavaScript library means it's a combination of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. That's it. The front end. I am talking about the front end. That is the content of it. There is no relationship with the Java. Okay. Now, why UI5? Why WebDin Pro was there? BSP was there. I mean, they are of their own technologies. They have the skilled people on the WebDin Pro and BSPs. Why they went with this? So now, since SAP UI5 is built using HTML and JavaScript, both are open sources. When both are open sources, you will get a lot of help from the internet. Lot of material is available on the internet, so that you will get lot of help. With my experience, I never said till now, within my 5 years of career, there was no answer I have said this requirement cannot be done by the UI5. I know the limitation of UI5, but I didn't get that kind of requirements. I know the limitation, of course. Everybody has that limitation. So every programming language, every framework has its own limitation. But I never said no. I'm talking about the requirements which came to me, or the requirements which came to our students community. So since it is open source, I can just quickly go and I can check and I can fix it. And that is what I want you to learn. Learning the complete JavaScript, it will take a decade for us. So let us learn first of all the basics. Our basics should be very clear, and then how we explore ourselves, what are the helplines are there. So since it is an open source, HTML and JavaScript, yeah, it is more preferred. So you will get n number of solutions available in the internet. Cross-browser compatible means, yeah, might be Raghavendra will be the right person to ask. Raghavendra, how many tickets you got? If you are in a support project, how many tickets you have got where the end user says it will not work on a Google Chrome or Mozilla, it works fine on an IE. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, many, right? Yeah, I'm unmuting you, Raghavendra. Yeah, Raghavendra.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the version, because of the lower version,
Yeah,
and the portal compatibility versions.
yeah. Now still the portal says, because I left the portal long back, more than a decade, but is now the portal says, is it cross browser compatible?
I mean, it depends. I mean, if the portal version, we upgrade portal version from one version to the next version, then the corresponding browser also we need to upgrade.
Oh my God! Again, it is browser incompatible. So
Yeah, browser incompatible. Yeah.
So we need to suggest to the end user saying that minimum you should have browser with
Yeah.
this version. Then only it is.
Yeah.
But when I was working more, I mean, I have seen the issues with it. Works absolutely fine in the IE. It is much more supportable to the IE, but doesn't work well on a Google Chrome and Mozilla, because at that time IE is also well used browser, but nowadays I don't think so. So
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, that depends because Google Chrome will be always latest versions. So if we are not up to the portal latest version, then it won't work.
Yeah, these kind of issues we normally see in WebDin Pros, Enterprise Portal, and whatever the web technologies that we have. Yeah, thank you, Raghavendra. And that we are sufficing with the UI5. And responsive applications means one application, you can use it whether desktop, tablet, or mobile. One application, the same application, you are going to use it in different devices. It adapts. We call that as the responsive applications. Now going back, offline and online support means if you are out of the internet, normally we post in a WhatsApp, we will post a message, we are out of the internet. Once we get into the internet, it synchronizes and it sends the message at that point of time. So that support, we call it as offline support. The similar kind of offline support is also available in the UI5 framework. So you can, whatever the task that you want to do it on the only front end side, you just complete it. Once you are on the internet, it synchronizes with the backend. Predefined controls are available, means now you need not to design everything from the scratch. You need not to design everything from the scratch. Table is available. For example, I need to display the sales order details as a table. Then what is required? Table is available. Get the data and bind it. Get the data and bind it at runtime. Get the data and bind it. It is almost all like you have an internal table and you need to embed the data. So ultimately we need a work area, a structure, and we need to have a mapping to the field via that structure. In the same way, so SAP has given table as a control. Just we need to to map with the data that we are getting from the backend. Then done. So in that way, they have given a very regularly used interfaces like a button, a form, a chat box, a link, a image, yeah, input field, drop down buttons, radio buttons, checkboxes. These are all available. I mean, we need not to create anything from the scratch. Everything is available. So that's where it is. Yeah. And where to be used, especially in enterprise based applications. So when it is SAP kind of world, or the Oracle ERP, so for these huge companies, we can go ahead with the SAP UI. Now, we had discussed about the FIORI and the UI5 a little bit. And what is SAP NetWeaver Gateway? See, as I discussed, we will have, this is a table, this is a list, this is a predefined control. You can see these are the predefined one. I need not to create everything from the scratch. This list is available by default. Just I need to map with the data. I hope you are following me, right? Yeah, Raghavendra, Anil, Sriram. So these templates are available. Just I need to understand, or I need to do is how to define these templates or controls and how to map with the data. But how the data will come from the backend, that is, yeah, just let us quickly we will see. Now, how we access the UI5 application. Let me start with that. Of course, by URL, it could be any URL where we use the browser and where we will post these URL on the address bar of the browser and we press enter. When we press enter, the browser requests the server where already available FIORI application is there. It will just download that app into the browser and it is ready with the UI. But now you can see the UI is ready. You can see the UI is ready, but not with the data. So for the data, it will call the OData service. And this OData service is implemented in the gateway component. This gateway component will talk to the ABAP, will get the relevant data to the gateway, and gateway again exposes the data as a OData to the backend, and finally we will get the data. So this is the complete picture which we need to acquire, means designing the front end, calling the OData service, and how the gateway behaves, and how the gateway is going to get the relevant data which is requested by the client at runtime, and how it returns the data. Not only the read process, but creating an entry, updating an entry, deleting an entry. So once we get this, rest of the things are just to explore further. That's it. So any questions for me? Anil, Raghavendra, Sriram? Yeah, thank you. Now what is OData? Yeah, Raghavendra seems somebody has a question. No, right? Yeah, yeah, Raghavendra, I'm just unmuting you. Yeah, Raghavendra.
Yeah. Actually, when we say what I say, it is adjustable to tablet, mobile, and
Yeah,
desktop, right?
responsive.
Suppose we have a complex application where we have uh, complex UIs like drop downs, list items like that. If you have a complex UI user interface is required, in that case, we cannot suggest the customer for mobile usage, right, for that kind of application.
See, now the beautiest of I will it is up to the business how they want to go with. But yeah, you are right that, for example, we have a table of 10 columns, right? And
Yeah.
we cannot show it as a table to the end user with the 10 columns. But on a mobile, what is very important, see, if you are seeing on a desktop, you are getting the complete details almost. But if that is
Yeah.
on a mobile, we can go ahead and we can say that what is very important, we can ask the client, who is giving us the business process, hey, can you name at least 3 fields or the 4 fields which are very important to the end user instead of 10 fields, which if he is accessing on the mobile, I can show those 4 fields with a different design, not the same design, because table doesn't look good on the mobile. So
Yeah.
these kind of the use cases can also be performed by using the UI5. So we can write a use case, like a code in such a way that if that is a desktop, display a table. If that is a mobile, display a list. I hope you are
Okay.
following me,
Got it.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got it.
So this is also possible. This is also possible, and this is how we would like to do it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So overall, this is what we have to get it. And let me quickly show you what is OData. Don't get surprised. OData is after all a URL. And you can see I am getting the customer data from some places. Right. So let me quickly walk through one end-to-end application. I would like to show you one end-to-end application that doesn't suffice, but just to give you an overview how the UI5 development is. I will be quickly, walking through it. I will not be developing end-to-end. It is not full. Just a minute, my dear. Fine. So few of the applications we will be developing on a remote system. Few of the applications we will be developing on our local system. Few of the applications we will be developing on a web ID. So different landscapes that we want to perform. So now I'm going to others. I'm creating a quick UI5 application. See, I'm calling 37 UI5. I'm creating the front end development. I will say products. So this is what we need to learn. First, we need to understand the HTML and the CSS part, and then what is an app, page, and so on, and how we define a view in an XML, and what is the view controller. These are the basics. At least we need to these are the one which we need to learn it. Now I need to grab the data from the backend. So now always once we know, the backend developer will develop the backend service and the front-end developer can develop the front-end. But once the backend is done, it will not take that much of time to develop the front-end. So I'm going to the backend, which is already defined one. So I'm going to SCGW is a transaction where I go to the gateway, and you can see a number of these are being done. I will get that data service. Right click, which is already available, and we will be discussing all these stuffs, right? And just we would like to get the data of the product set and just execute it. I'm just testing whether the application, this OData service is working fine or not. So at the back end, we will be developing the OData services. So just like this is I'm in a gateway and I'm developing the OData service. Seems there is some problem with this. Oh no, I can't. Yeah, it is working fine. Good. I'm going to the gateway and I'm saying call browser so that I get the URL of it. So this is OData service, which I got the data in a AtomPub format. And what is AtomPub, we will be discussing. So this is the OData service. Now you can see quickly I'm taking it. I'm taking the OData service name. We will be discussing the technicality of it later. But as of now, this is how the process is. So I'm going to the controller and just I need to get that as a model. So where O model is equal to new sap.ui.model.odata.version2, which is a stable one, OData model. and it contains, it should get load our URL. I'm just writing where URL. So in a controller, we will be writing the JavaScript. Somehow for reason, I'm specifying it as a proxy, otherwise it will not work. I will give you the reason in our regular sessions why it should be proxy and HTTP. Yeah, I got the URL and the model, and then I have to set it to the view. This dot get view, and these are the things that we need to understand. Set model. Model. I am setting this model to the view so that now the data binding process starts. Here, yeah, I'm starting. List is a predefined control. Yeah, I have items is an aggregation. I'm sure that you don't understand this, but I'm giving you the term. So items, and the child is standard list item, and title. I want to show it as a title where it is product ID. Product ID. I want to show the product ID, list of the product IDs, and I'm doing aggregation binding. So front end, I have developed end to end, my dear. Front end, end to end development I have done. Back end data, I am using the predefined ones. Yeah, it is asking for the credentials. That is how it is. Yeah, let me render it on the desktop, and since I'm using the OData service, I'm using its credentials. Yeah, you can see the list of them. And if you want further, just I can add one more called description is equal to yeah. Now it looks like yeah, so and so on. And yeah, I'm at now the batch number 36. You can see this is a split app application, which I'm in the mid of them, and yeah, component 2, I can show one of the use case that we would be working with. Yeah, this is when I click on it, I get the product details, all the details of the product. This is one of the use case which I have done with them. Yeah, so we get all the data, go back and get it. And then we will be developing one split app application, which we didn't have with this, but you can even see the split app application which we have developed end to end, and that is what we will be developing, and we will be extending the standard application. And parallelly, I will be giving one assignment for each and every topic. So you can see, just let me quickly run through. It will take time to start with this. Run as web application. So when I click on it, I get the data, and I should be able to create it. Just let me quickly refresh it. And I should be able to update it, and I should be able to 35, right? Let me delete it. I should be able to delete them. You can see it got deleted. This as well, I want to delete it. So we will apply, we will learn the CRUD operations, not listing it, but update, create, and delete. Right. Yeah. So yeah, that's what a quick short, but we will be learning them authoritatively. And yeah, finally, this is the one that we need to get it. And then once it is done, we have to extend the standard application. So how to extend the standard application, which we will be seeing in our regular sessions. Sorry, Praveen, you just joined. I can send you, the video link where you can access it. I will publish this video on a YouTube, and I can send you the URL where you can watch it, Praveen. Yeah. So the timings and the duration of it is, it starts at 6:30 and we will be closing at 8 o'clock. These are the timings of the UI5. Yeah. This particular session, morning 6:30 a.m. IST and till 8 o'clock. Monday to Friday, no Saturdays and Sundays. I encourage you all to play some games, at least cricket. Okay. The course duration is 5 to 6 weeks. We will be closing our training within the 6 weeks. I would be taking 2 to 3 gaps in between, 2 to 3 breaks in between. Normally that happens. I don't want, but somehow it is happening. So you can take me like 2 to 3 sessions. I will be, I will be postponing, but I will be intimating via WhatsApp and via mail prior to it. So if you miss any sessions, obviously 5 to 6 months is also a long period where if you miss any sessions, we have the recorded sessions which are accessible for 6 months. Yeah, Anil says, do I need to have a knowledge on Java? You don't require, my dear. If you have the above, that is enough for me. And I will bring it to the SAP UI5. And don't worry about the Java. Java is nowhere is considered here. It is JavaScript. JavaScript is not related to the Java. And study material will be in form of PPTs, PDF, and course snippets. Assignments you will get topic wise, and for further details you can refer to https://www.yasmaxtraining.com. Right. So now it's a questions time. If you have any questions, let me know. But in Eclipse, you are writing different code in controller. It is not a different code here. It is, yeah, it's a JavaScript. It is not Java, it is JavaScript here, and that is what we will be getting trained. Now, in a controller, we have used, just let me show you. Yeah, I don't know whether I have implemented anything in this test. Yeah, this is JavaScript. Whatever we are writing is a JavaScript, not the Java. Syntactically, it looks like the Java, but they are the different standalone languages. Yeah, but it is not an ABAP. The ABAP comes when you are developing the OData service. SAP UI5 is nowhere related with that. Yeah. Yep. So any questions? Any questions for me? Should we connect SAP GUI from UI5? They are standalone. They are not, related. Anyhow, I will unmute you. That's the best way of getting you. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. This is not that. Not Anil's voice. It is my feedback. I will be showing you, few audio clips of mine. Before that, let me take question from Anil. Anil, I'm unmuting you. Yeah, Anil.
Hi Devender, good morning.
Good morning, Anil. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, in my project, there was a UFI developer, but he was he's complaining that there was a requirement to directly connect the SAP GUI, open up SAP as soon as they answer one of the question. And there was an audit question on the UI5. When they answer yes, we have to open a GUI. But he said there is a limitation, we can't do that requirement. So I'm just wondering, is it?
Yeah, normally what happens, dear, when we try to deploy it for development, there is, see, I have developed this application, I am testing locally. Locally means within the Eclipse, no problem. But when you deploy it to the backend, see, if you see here, there are few parameters of the backend. The client is 400. Means this application, I have posted it to the backend. In that case, ultimately it will ask for the GUI. Let me show you. This is the test application. Right click. Let me try to deploy it. Share the project. Might be he's this is the one that he would be using. So you can see this I got it from the GUI. This entry I got it from the GUI because I have a GUI, SAP GUI, and where this entry is maintained there. If not, you can click on a new, you can put the SID, application server instance. All these things can also enable. Means without the SAP GUI as well, you can connect it to the SAP. Yeah. Does that answers your query, Anil? Is it very similar to that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. So you should say from the define new everything from the scratch, or select an existing SAP logon entry. If you want to connect to the SAP system, what are all the purpose that we need to connect with the SAP? I will let you know. And one of the reason is you want to post this application into a server, not to test locally. The testing locally, it is fine till it works, till the development. Once the development is done, you need to post it. In that case, in older versions, this facility is not there. In a new Eclipse, we have that facility. This is Neon, so he can upgrade to the Neon. And what UI5 version you are using, it also depends.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. But I have seen, very older versions, it is mandatory to have a GUI and the entries.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Anil, for asking question. Anybody has a question? Just I would like to, post the feedbacks of my students who has, given me the positive feedbacks. Negatively, I haven't got much to say, but yeah, I'm not able to drag it here. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I have clipped it. Just you can walk through it, and if you are busy, you can just lock it off. So
without any break, I did not take any break. I didn't miss any class. So this happened only when I was doing my BSc, because where my professors took the classes very well. So at that time it was no wonder, because it was a physics, it's a conventional thing. But the same quality, you took the latest technology.